Hello, everybody, and welcome to our special Super Bowl coverage here on Yuski and Herbie, a very special edition. And we normally don't broadcast on a Sunday. So, our good friend George Bashiro is with us from Shakedown Thunder. I'm Chris Heidel. That's Herbie. Yuski is living on a couch somewhere. We'll join him on Wednesday, wherever he is right now. So George, big game tonight down in Tampa between the Chiefs and Buccaneers. So, we got some good stuff going on tonight. I have a beat writer from Kansas City was joining us at 3:30. I'll get you the name in a minute. And we have a guy starting at 3:15 coming on. His name's called the Big Nasty. He is the Buccaneers' #1 fan. So we'll get him on to talk about what's going on down in. He's heading to the ballpark as we speak. So we'll see see what's going on. So what do you think about tonight's game? What is your key to the game that you'd like to see on for the game? The keys to the
What do
game.
I want to see for the game?
Yeah.
I don't want it to be boring. I want it to be an interesting game. I want to see both teams going at it. I want a challenge. To be honest, I want it. I don't want it to be one of those sleeper Super Bowls where someone's just running away with it and you're tired of it by the end of the third quarter. So I'm just looking for a really good game. And if any way possible, just making sure that the Chiefs come out with more points in the end versus the Bucks.
Yeah. I think, everybody likes to have a good Super Bowl. I know a couple of years ago we saw the Patriots and Rams, and my father and I turned it to America's Got Talent because we got bored watching it because it was so boring. It was like nobody was scoring and all that stuff. It's like you want an entertaining um, Super Bowl, and you don't want anybody to be sleeping around.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So
you want it to be about the game. You don't want people talking more about the halftime show and what's going on in the halftime show. Um, Not high expectations this year for the Super Bowl commercials either. So
yeah. Well, because of I think Pepsi and Coke and I think Budweiser are not doing an ad this year because of the COVID-19. But there's going to be. I think I saw a State Farm commercial is going to be interesting with Mahomes and Rogers and the other guy.
but don't get hidden by the hidden message that Pepsi's sponsoring the halftime show. So that is that is a 10 to 12 minute Pepsi commercial all on itself.
It is, yeah, yeah. That's right. It's 13 minutes for the halftime show, and it's like, and I was watching, trying to get to know who the Weekend guy is. The band. Is he only one guy playing, or is there other people playing with him?
I got to be honest with you. I have not paid. I don't pay attention to the entertainment factor of the Super Bowl. It's not the deciding factor for me.
Right.
But there will be commentary at halftime if it's awful.
Yeah, exactly. People will be like watching other things on TV, like I'm sorry, who wants to watch a pregame show for like 6 hours? That's like God. You want to watch it for 6 hours?
I've done it.
You done it?
When the Giants or the Steelers were in the Super Bowl,
Uh huh.
12 o'clock until game time is I'll see you later, folks. I'm checked out. I'm going to watch as much pregame as I can. But when my team's in it, I'm not too worried about it.
Like I put it on probably around like 4:30, 5 o'clock as noise in the background getting dinner together. Because you hear all these they come up with all these special stories like we're gonna go talk to this guy who used to play for the team. Now he's on the other side. Okay, good for you. I'm glad he's talking about what he's doing. Yeah.
Now, if my team's in it, I'm watching from noon to kickoff. That's just the way that I am. But if my team's not in it, I'll turn on the preview just before the game starts just to see what they're talking about and look at the prognostications because in the end, half those guys are wrong anyway.
Yeah, and I was watching. I was on because this week I had access to the Super Bowl, and I had the chance to listen into the CBS Media Day. CBS had all their broadcasters on who's going to be on the Super Bowl, and they're doing they're doing a documentary on Whitney Houston. Okay, because I think Whitney was there in the 1991 for the Giants and Bills Super Bowl, the national anthem.
First of all, by the way, the best national anthem ever.
Right.
Ever. That is the high water mark for national anthem singing.
Yeah, I agree. I think. What's your second one? I think Lady Gaga from the presidential inauguration this year. She was great singing it. For Biden, that was pretty decent. Yeah. What do you think?
I'm just gonna look at you, Chris.
It's all right.
Comparing Lady Gaga and what she did at the inauguration and the Super Bowl, I think the more neutral discussion of the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anyone that compares to Whitney Houston. I'll be honest with you, I can't remember anybody else that's really done the national anthem for a Super Bowl other than Whitney Houston. She's always the first one that comes to mind.
Oh yeah, and it's great because when I was a kid, doing these bowling tournaments and all that stuff, they used to play that national anthem as the one before everybody starts bowling. So I guess the Whitney Houston one is everybody still wants to play it.
It's the standard.
Yeah. So folks, coming up at 3:15, we're only on for an hour today because we don't want to cut into your plans because you got stuff to do. I know I have to get ready for dinner and all that stuff. For what we're doing for the Super Bowl, but we got Keith, Big Nasty, Kunizig, Coolidge, or whatever. I don't know how to say his name. We'll figure it out. But he's called the Big Nasty. The only Big Nasty I know is on bowling in West Vermont. That's all I know.
Yeah. The Big Nasty. It's interesting. That's interesting just in itself.
Yeah. I was like, so we're going to ask him. And he's actually, I was doing some research on him. He's actually a financial advisor. Okay. That's really funny to be a financial advisor during the week. And then you ask him, so what did you do over the weekend? I did nothing. And then you see him at the football game going, yeah. I'm like, okay, that's my financial advisor.
Everyone has that alter ego.
Yeah,
I know that I got that alter ego. So,
yeah. Hey, when you go to Notre Dame games, I saw your get up when you went to that game this year. You don't get into face painting and all that stuff, right?
Oh no. That mask? I mean, that mask was just a typical just a face covering that a buddy of mine sent, and it was the warmest one that I had in my limited collection of masks.
You're like your two masks that you have, and you're like, oh, I gotta go get new ones. Yeah.
And when I go to games, I mean, I don't have that stuff. I mean, one. If I'm in the press box, is wearing a neutral, it's a shirt and tie for me in the press box.
Right.
So that was just me trying to keep warm that day with the best face covering that I could find.
Exactly, I agree. Yeah. So that's when he's coming on, at 3:15, hopefully from Tampa. It's good to talk to somebody who is a big fan of their team. Yeah, because Tampa Bay has been the laughing stock in the NFL since they came in the league in '76. And they did win a Super Bowl in 2002, but they haven't been in the playoffs since 2007. So it's going to be interesting. You get a Tom Brady on loan. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, any other exciting Super Bowl memories did you have over your time? Do you have any memories of watching games and saying like, "Oh, I remember I sat there for that"?
The one Super Bowl that I probably can remember was in that time frame of when the Bills were doing their back-to-back Super Bowls, right?
Yeah.
And they're playing the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm.
And they're lining up for that field goal at the end of the game.
Right.
And I'm just like, please miss this. Please miss this. And then he shanks it right. And I felt so bad for Jim Kelly at that point in time. But that was probably the most nervous Super Bowl that I've ever watched.
Right.
Was that Super Bowl against the Bills.
Yeah, I think did they take that part of that Scott Norwood missing that field goal and turn it into Ace Ventura: Pet Detective?
Yes,
because it sounds like it. Like, it sounds, if you look at it, they just changed the name to the Dolphins and 49ers.
But you're right. That would be that became the guy's downfall. Was the Norwood shank?
Yeah, I felt bad. I was watching the 30 for 30 on ESPN about that. They called it and he felt so bad missing that field goal. He came back home to Buffalo, and everybody gave him a standing ovation.
And the only thing on that level that I think that you can kind of simulate that to, and I'm sorry to do this, Chris.
Yeah.
But it was a good thing for your team that day, was the Buckner 86 Mets ball between the legs. Mm-hmm. You remember where you were. You remember those things, of it can come up in a moment. And I would say it was Mookie Wilson, right?
Yeah, it was Mookie.
Mookie Wilson gets the dribbler through Bill Buckner's legs, and previous to that, they had just shown the champagne on ice in the Red Sox locker room,
and they put it on the Jumbotron. Congratulations to the Red Sox winning the World Series, and then that happened.
And the rest is history. It was the Let's Go Mets. That was I actually still have that album, by the way. I actually have the album of the Let's Go Mets song.
Oh yeah, what they did in 1986. Yeah, I had on YouTube also. But the funny thing is, it was born in 1981. I was 6 years old when they won the World Series. But I don't think I was up watching it because I think I went to bed because my parents, didn't let me stay up and watch the games when I was little. They're like, hey, go to bed.
Night when that play happened.
Yeah, but I think I vaguely remembered that my dad used to go to work, and we used to have this white chalkboard on the, like for notes and all that stuff. And I remember him writing, Mets won World Series chance, talk to you later, love you. Or something like that. And when I got home, he had the video, he taped it for me or something. And he goes, you want to watch it? I'm like, okay. So I watched it. And then years later, like a year ago, my dad saw the game again. And he goes, you want to watch it again and just see what really happened? And it's sad that I talked to Bob Stanley a couple of years ago. He was a pitching coach down in Bowie I think he was for the Giants, their AA affiliate. And he came into Bowie, and I had a chance to talk to him and all that stuff. And I asked him about 1986, and he goes, well, we don't talk about the World Series here. That's like, I don't even bring it up. I was like, what happened? He goes, well, it's just one of those things that, Buckner was injured. He should have been playing first base, but if you don't have anybody in the bench to play first base, you got to put your best players in anyway. And it looked like to me that he got all caught up in where the ball was.
In the moment, it's just a bad roll. In a moment, it's just a bad roll.
Exactly. Yeah. So very interesting. So I think Keith is logging in here soon. Let me see if he gets on. There he is. Let's bring him in.
Wow. Hey, fellas, how are you? Can you guys hear me?
Doing good. You're
yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Unfortunately, I'm not in the car or anything, and we're walking towards the stadium. So it's hard to hear you guys, but I'll try my best.
That's cool. But thanks for coming on. We never had a fan on before who was like a big fan of somebody because we do our own show. And I was like, I just want to get somebody who is a different person from being a sports writer.
Well, let's face it. You got lucky. You didn't get one Hall of Fame fan. You got a 2-time Hall of Fame fan, buddy. So we're ready to rock the house. We're going to bring that Super Bowl trophy and keep it here in Tampa. Number 2, baby. Number 2.
Nice. Let's talk about down there. How's the home game? It's a home game for you guys, but you're not allowed to use the cannons. That's not cool. Use the cannons. Yeah.
Hey, you know what though? We bring the boom. The fans will bring the boom. We don't need no dang cannons. We'll bring the boom. You'll hear us. You ain't gonna hear that old Chief stuff. That Chief stuff needs to go. Just like the Cheddarheads we got rid of last week.
Wow, this guy's bringing it all, Chris. Man, this is awesome.
I know. I was just trying to get something a different feel that you don't see on Super Bowl Sunday. We're all sitting here watching TV and everybody's talking about it, but he's literally there at the game, getting ready to go in the stadium. Walking down. So how's the crowd? Is everybody tailgating, or are they all separated, or what's going on down there?
Well, there's no tailgating, but everybody, keep the normal distance. But we're ready to rock. Hey guys, you may get interrupted here, with fans coming in and out. So we're right here at Al Lopez Park, but it should be a good time.
Okay. Nice.
So Keith, I was telling Chris before you came on the show that we all have this alter ego. And I know my alter ego is back in the day when we would go to the NASCAR races. I can turn my redneck on in a second, right? I can go from being the white collar guy and being right there with my NASCAR buddies and cheering them on at the track. You're a financial advisor, and then you turn this on the weekends. Buddy, that's awesome.
Well, you definitely did your research. Yes, I have a financial advisory practice with Ameriprise Financial. But as you can see, I bring my game face 24/7, baby, and we're going to bring it today. Take no prisoners. Mahomes, you're going down. It's time for a championship back in Tampa, and we're going to be called Title Town. We got the Stanley Cup. We went to the dang World Series. Even the Rowdies played soccer, went to a championship game. But we're going to finish the deal. Buck Nation is proud. We deserve a trophy. And Chief Nation, you're going home crying, baby. You're going home crying. Woo!
I love this. This is great. This is awesome. We should get him more. We should get him on more often during the off season, just to have him just pop up once in a while. Like woo! Yeah, you're good to go. Yeah.
Hey fellas.
But,
I can hardly hear you. We're getting crazy.
Okay.
We're getting close to game time. I want to thank you for having me on. We love you. Let's get this W. I want everybody watching this broadcast to go Bucks, baby. Go Bucks. Let's get it done. Woo!
All right, Big Nancy, thank you so much.
And by the way, Ameriprise is the best financial service that you can get. I am a member. My finances are taken care of through my Ameriprise. So let me tell you, that's awesome.
Yeah, see that's something that you don't bring. I don't bring often, and I'm thinking the other day, going, I got to do something more exciting. Instead of like talking to some beat writers. I don't know if I'm down there today. Like, then why do you want to come on? Well, I can give you the insights.
We're gonna have to have him back, and we're gonna have to find out how did he get tickets.
I think, I'll reach out to him like later this week, and maybe we'll get him on the following week, and we'll have him come on when Ewan's on and see what Ewan does.
Without the war paint. We gotta have him without the war paint.
Yeah, we should.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I know he's getting busy down there. Because I got 3 hours until kickoff. But I'd like to know how you got a ticket to the game, because I thought they were only open for healthcare workers and people who are personnel and all that stuff.
Well, somebody hooked him up. Somebody hooked him up for sure.
Yeah, or if he's a number one fan from the Buccaneers, they probably hooked him up and say, "Look, you help us promote our team and all that stuff." But it's great. I was going to ask him real quick about how's it like having Tom Brady for 1 year or 2 years, because if Tom didn't become a free agent last year, he's probably right now up in New England, and you probably have famous Jameis right now, and he's not stealing any crab legs right now. He's looking for unemployment.
Wow.
Hey, I'm allowed to do that because I'm a Florida State guy. I'm allowed to say that. Like
you can. You
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
Because
you have stuff with Notre Dame. You have a right to say something about Notre Dame, because you're a Notre Dame guy. You have a right to say whatever. I feel like if you're a fan of that team, you have a right to say what but if you're like a bandwagoner, I don't think you're supposed to be allowed to say anything if you don't know anything about the history of that team you decided to start rooting for.
so the result of all this, right? How many new Tampa Bay fans are there? That would be an interesting thing to see. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that'll be an interesting, polling, to find out. I know I have a friend who I had a coworker who used to work with me at Giant, and I don't know if I couldn't get him on because I don't know if he was drunk or whatever, but he's been a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan since they came into the league in '76, and he's from Baltimore. So I was like, and I asked him, like, how did you become a Bucs fan living in Baltimore? That's like, you got the Ravens down the street. You got Ravens. You got Redskins or whatever they call them.
They were the Colts. 76, they were the Baltimore Colts, weren't they?
Yeah, the Baltimore Colts were still here. So he said he liked the colors. I was like, well, I like the orange and white. Yeah, I love the old uniforms. Yeah, with the weird pirate guy. Garg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch that. Dude, go on the NFL. Go on YouTube tonight or tomorrow and watch 0-26 Bucks from the timeline from the NFL. They literally talk about how they literally screwed up their entire first season.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was really interesting. So anyway, speaking of that guy, that was Big Nasty. And there's a guy that's on the Buccaneers who used to love to trump down Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, Dominic Sue, right, dude? Remember he used to. Yeah.
Mr. Stomping Guy.
Yeah, Mr. Stumping Guy. Well, Mr. Stumping Guy is down in Tampa Bay, so Tampa Bay has somehow got some good. I don't want to call him old parts. Is he an old part?
They put a lot of experienced talent together.
Yeah.
Through the wire service to get to the point where they are today.
Right. So anyway,
it's lightning in a bottle.
Right. Well, I had a chance to talk to him on the telephone this week. It was great on the phone because we had access here on the program, and it was great to listen to him. So let me pull him up on the file here. So, but to me, I'm sorry, he's still intimidating to me. Yeah. No offense. I know he's not, the person that he was years ago. But
that person may come out today.
Oh yeah, he might be that guy.
He may be walking out with more fines.
Right. Let me here. So here he is, Dominic Sue.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
For taking my question today. Patrick Mahomes, how difficult is he to bring down? Because I know you're a good pass rusher over the years, and and watching you from afar. What do you have to do to catch up with him to make him a non on Sunday?
I think it's going to be very difficult to be a non-factor. And we understand he's very, very, very talented. He has good speed. Uh, 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 good change of direction. Is able to throw both sides of the ball, whether it's rolling out to his right or to his left. So not allowed.
We're working on the video. I guess probably didn't work on our end, but might work on video when I see it later. Probably. Yeah.
So
It's just one
he
of those
seemed
things.
very soft.
So anyway, that was Dynamic Sue. Yeah, he was on Wednesday. He was more soft spoken, but I'm sorry, I still he brings the you know that factor. You know, like I think he knows how to go get the pass rusher. So anyway, so that's Dominic Sue. Let me bring up. So he's a part of the defensive lineman for the Buccaneers, and like Big Nasty says, let's get that on. So anyway, let's get back to the show here. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame last night, George. These people got inducted in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, so I put Calvin Johnson, Calvin Johnson twice. Hold on, edit problem. Yeah, he's a double classmate now.
So
So,
we talked about.
So what do you
Calvin
think about these?
We talked about Calvin Johnson just the other night. You know, they were talking. Remember the conversation being, who did Matt Stafford have? Well, his primary receiver at the beginning of his career was Calvin Johnson, right? And this is why you always say you can't rely on one guy. You got to have more than one guy to be a factor. The fact that Peyton Manning was a first-time ballot, that's not a surprise.
Right.
As the Broncos were saying, as we saw earlier today, the Broncos are saying Broncos quarterback Peyton Manning gets into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I know you're representing your team when you're writing the article, but he's going in as a Colt. There's no way around it. He's going in the modern era as an Indianapolis Colt, because that's where his career was.
Right. I agree with you. And I think he should be a Colt because he actually turned the Colts around, because before he showed up at 99 or 98, the Colts were like in and out of they were in the playoffs, but they didn't have that last person to get them into the Super Bowl or the AFC title game. They had Jim Harbaugh, who's the coach at Michigan. I guess we don't talk about the Steeler game. Yeah, the one that the Hail Mary in '95 or '96 or whatever he threw, to get the Colts to the AFC title game.
Yep.
Or what? I think it was one of those games, but they couldn't get over that hump, and plus, everybody still called the Colts Baltimore because it was not. I feel like, yes, they'd been there for 25 years, but they didn't have their own players. They still everybody called them. Hey, you stole the team from Baltimore. You're not a true Indianapolis team. Now you're Indianapolis because you won a Super Bowl.
You know what? Peyton Manning was the image you think of for a cerebral quarterback.
Mm-hmm. That's true. He was a good. He was he was the part of the modern day quarterback. Yes, he was a pocket quarterback. He didn't scramble or didn't move around. Didn't go for 10 yards like Patrick Mahomes does. 10 yards, 5 yards, and all that stuff. But it's great that but he learned how to get better and better and better every year.
He has a good pedigree. He had good business ethic. You didn't hear about him in negative light like you hear about some players in the NFL. he kept to himself. He knew what he needed to do successfully on and off the field.
Right, and you don't, and plus you never heard him. He's like Derek Jeter. You don't hear anything about any negativity. It's all positive. It's all, yeah. He's here helping this person. He's been doing this. Derek Jeter's been Mr. Like, quiet, and he played in New York. Peyton played in Indianapolis, where it's not the biggest media capital of the world.
And I wish that more athletes would see that. They don't have to be doing the TikTok. They don't need to be doing the this, the that to get attention. If you play the game right, if you do things the right way, you're going to get the attention. You don't need to be doing all this extra added stuff on the outside to intimidate a player. You let your playing speak for itself.
Right, exactly. You put your mouth on the field. You don't say anything out of the. Yes, you can say something after the game if there's something bothering you, but they all listened to him. They all respected him, and they always played hard for him, no matter what. You don't hear, like Lamar Jackson here in Baltimore. You don't hear. I've been hearing so much positive things about him on the radio yesterday. It's like, yeah, the kid was shy when I met him down in in Charlotte back in 5 years ago when he was like, we don't know who this kid is. This kid was like quiet, and he was wearing a gold chain, and his Christ Church, and I'm like, oh, okay, here's a kid we don't even know yet.
Mahomes is the same way, by the way.
Right.
Mahomes just goes about his business.
I think Mahomes is the same because his father was a major leaguer, and I think he taught his son how to become a professional at a young age. Because you never heard anything about his father doing anything wrong, except for he wasn't on the play. I found out he wasn't on the World Series roster in 2020, for the Mets and Yanks, but he was there for 2 years. But to me, I just I think he learned from him, and plus his father, when he was in New York, had him meet Derek Jeter and his son, at a young age, and there was pictures. I think I saw a video last year that he was out there flagging fly balls, Patrick Mahomes, when he was like 7, with like everybody on the New York Mets roster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's great.
And you can say the same thing for Tom Brady. In that aspect, I mean, you hear about him in social media, but that's just the different times too. You hear Tom Brady goes on a vacation and he's taking and jumping with his daughter off a cliff, and she really, what we were perceived to be, she didn't want to go and do that activity.
Mm-hmm.
But right. You know what? That's his personal life. That's for him to go and deal with. He doesn't.
Right.
He doesn't have, in the court of a public opinion, he doesn't have to justify what he does. But that's social media. With everyone as someone once told me, you got to be careful what you do, be careful what you say, because everyone's got a camera, everyone's got a video recorder on their phone.
Oh yeah, I feel bad for people, the players to now. Back in the 80s and early 90s, you didn't have Twitter or TikTok or Facebook or whatever. You could, you never heard any about these people until now. You hear them every 5 minutes on Twitter, like, oh, did you see what he said yesterday? Yeah.
Or the most current story that you could talk about in that aspect, Chris, is the Aaron Rodgers debacle. Did you hear about that?
No, what happened?
I guess what was happening was they were between facilities or something, but there's a picture of him in the back of a pickup truck with a case of Miller Lite.
I think I saw that, but to me, I thought that was fake.
Now, in my opinion, I don't want to see if I was the Packers, right? I don't want to see my franchise quarterback sitting in the back of a pickup truck with a case of Miller Lite. I don't know all the details, so I can't go into it.
Right.
But regardless, isn't there some sense of, dude, think about what you're doing because you don't know who's got the camera.
Right. And that's true. I didn't know if that was real or not because to me it didn't look like Aaron Rodgers
It
because it
was.
looked kind of weird from the other side. And I'm looking like, okay, how in the world is he on a pickup truck in the middle of Green Bay, Wisconsin? You could see that guy. That guy is like it's like Elvis. Yeah, come on. Yeah. So let's
He's
bring in
not
Brandon, who is covering the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if he's at the Super Bowl. Hi, Brandon. How you doing?
Good. How are we doing today, guys?
Brandon's
Doing
got a
great.
big
Are you down?
No. So we are actually snowed in Kansas City this year, just with all the travel restrictions and everything going around the Super Bowl and everything being done virtually. We're doing our best to cover it as we can back here in Kansas City.
That's cool. Yeah, this is my first year covering the Super Bowl. I used to watch the Super Bowl, and now everything's virtually, and I got opportunity this week to sit home and talk to these players. And I'm thinking to myself, I'll never go to a Super Bowl because I don't have the money to travel. This is great sitting here doing my own stuff in my own house. It's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. It's different, but a little bit easier from home too.
Nice.
So Brandon,
So let's talk about this game tonight. Go ahead.
So, what's the health
George.
of the team? What's the health of the team right now? There's everyone clear and ready to play?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Everyone, obviously, Willie Gay underwent surgery just a couple weeks ago. The linebacker, rookie out of Mississippi State, he's going to be out tonight. And then Eric Fisher with the torn Achilles, he's out as well. But Daniel Kilgore coming off the COVID list, backup center in case they need him, and that offensive line's banged up, so they very well might need him at some point tonight. And then Demarcus Robinson, their third or fourth option at wide receiver, he's also off the COVID-19 list. And unless there's any surprises leading up to the injury reports in just about an hour, everyone, Le'Veon Bell, he might still be a little bit banged up. That's maybe the one that I left off. But the Chiefs should feel pretty healthy coming into tonight's game.
But the COVID concerns, everyone's good.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So Andy Reid is dealing with a lot of issues at home with his son fatally having that car accident the other night, and basically, there in Kansas City, right outside of the stadium. So what's the news from that? Anything else? I know we can't talk to him until after tonight's game, but anything?
So what it sounds like, what I understand right now is that Britt Reid, Andy's son, the linebackers coach, he's not in Tampa Bay. Obviously, he's still in the hospital in Kansas City, as is the 5-year-old girl, one of the 2 kids that was injured in the accident. She is still in critical condition in the hospital. A GoFundMe set up for her has raised almost $100,000 last time I checked late last evening. And so there's a outpouring of support from across the country for that little girl, and that's the big thing right now. And there's going to be questions for Andy Reid just about how his son's doing, and then probably the situation going forward. There's going to be some major consequences here, and that's, of course, things that we'll find out after the game and then in the coming days.
Yeah, that's true. George, you got anything?
So Brandon, with all the activities today, Patrick Mahomes, it's like the new guy coming in against the old guy, right? And that's what it is. Patrick Mahomes, we were talking before he came on about how he grew up around professionals. He's going to be one of those quarterbacks that just going to hopefully goes about his business, and you don't see a lot of things off the field or distractions. What's the feel about Patrick Mahomes around Kansas City?
He could run for mayor tomorrow, and he would be elected. Him and his fiance. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is now a co-owner of the Kansas City Royals. His fiance is now a co-owner of a new national women's soccer team that's professionally just got rebooted up here in Kansas City. They're a group that is as beloved and trusted and respected as has ever came through Kansas City, and just in 4 years, they're as invested as anyone ever has been in Kansas City. And he's revered across the community and has the highest standard of anybody, and he lives up to it every single day, I think.
That's awesome.
Well,
it's good for the franchise.
Yeah, 100%. He's the face of the franchise and will be for a long time.
Yeah, and it's also good for the city of Kansas City because there's some if you're part owner of the Royals, if you win 2 2 Super Bowl titles, how about you just go over and play baseball for a couple of years? You're good to go. Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a lot of success over
you
the
got
last couple
your
of years
baseball
between the
team.
Royals and Chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We don't have to bring out 2015. I'm a Met fan. I don't want to listen about that anymore. I turned that off when Matt Harvey was pitching in the ninth inning and Collins forgot to take him out, and my mom goes, "Are you on the bed?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "You're not watching the bottom of the ninth?" I'm like, "No, Mom, we lost."
Smart choice.
Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, that was the first ninth inning I ever seen in my life," and I haven't to this day even watched that ninth inning. I just don't even want to see it. It gets me really fired up. It's like we
I can
had
tell you how it
the
ended.
Royals 2-2.
Yep.
Yeah. But hey, I'm glad you guys won. It's good that Kansas City World Series. And now let's get everybody else to win one, right, George?
There you go. So, Brandon,
Yeah.
what is your thoughts on today?
I think it's going to come down to how much Kansas City is able to slow down the Tampa Bay offense. I don't think there's any stopping the Chiefs offense. I think they're going to be able to score at will, and the Tampa Bay secondary. I don't think it's anything that's going to be able to stop Kansas City from scoring. Maybe outside of a couple drives, and I think it's going to come down to how much Chris Jones and Frank Clark on this Chiefs defense, how much they're able to make Brady uncomfortable. We know he's kind of a statue back there. And he doesn't like being under pressure. He doesn't like having to move left or right. He likes to drop back, step up in the pocket. That's what he does. And if he can do that all day, that's dangerous for the Chiefs defense. But if Frank Clark and Chris Jones can get him off balance and make him uncomfortable in that pocket, I think the Chiefs have a really good chance of coming out on top today.
Yeah, I just feel like the Chiefs are being because of the fan. Yeah, because it's in Tampa Bay. And it's like we got more Tampa Bay fans than Chiefs fans because of the travel restrictions and all that stuff. But the NFL's trying to make it neutral. The Buccaneers can't fire their cannons after a touchdown, so that's a good way to try to make it neutral. But you still got the first team ever in the NFL to go host a Super Bowl game.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. The Chiefs fans do travel really well. They had probably 70% of the fans last year down in Miami. There's going to be a good share in Tampa Bay, but it's going to be cool to see the crowd dynamic, especially with all the vaccinated healthcare workers and everything that are on site. It's going to be a Super Bowl unlike anyone we've ever seen.
What's the anticipated number of Kansas City Chiefs fans in the stadium?
Well, there's 22,000 total. I was hearing probably near that 50% mark. Honestly, there's people in Kansas City that have been lining up to get to this game. They freaking love this team so much. I would imagine it's going to be close to 50-50 Tampa. Obviously, they don't have to travel very far, so they might have a little bit of numbers. But the Kansas City Chiefs fans, they're loud and proud. So even if they're outnumbered, I think you'll be able to hear them over the broadcast, and they're going to make their presence felt.
That's great. Well, Brandon, thank you so much for coming on. I know you got a lot of stuff to do to get ready for the game. I know you're there at home in Kansas City, but I know you got to get ready for the post-game stuff tonight. That's probably going to be a late night for everybody because the NFL players, they try to take their time and all that stuff. So enjoy the Super Bowl from snowy Kansas City. I'm going to join it from here in snowy Baltimore because we had the same snowstorm you did.
Yep.
So we're not
Thanks for having
going
me, guys. Have fun watching the game.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Brandon, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. That's Brandon Zenner, who covers the Kansas City Chiefs at home. So last year this is like a different year for anybody. Who gets an opportunity to cover a Super Bowl from your dining room?
Not
right?
Not too many. Not too many.
No. I hope I can do this for baseball too. Just sit home. Watch Major Leagues. I just don't want to leave the house. I just want to stay here. Save some money. I don't have to pay for anything. But anyway, we do have one more video before we get out of here. I interviewed Alex Okafor, who from Kansas City, And I asked him about Tom Brady because he played against him a couple of years ago in the AFC title game. And I asked him, what do you have to do to contain him? Because I know, Tom Brady could beat you with his arm, but he can't beat it. He doesn't have that scrambling ability like Lamar Jackson. So here it is. Hopefully the video works really well here. Hold on.
Thanks for taking my question. You played against Tom Brady a couple weeks ago down there in Tampa, and also you probably played him back in the AFC title game. What does he look like now being in Tampa when he was like in New England?
I mean, the obvious answer is they're going down the field a lot more. And credit to BA and his system, credit to, TB for picking up the scheme so well. But yeah, that's just the biggest difference from last year to this year is, he gets to show off his arm a lot more. They're going down the field and a lot more frequently.
All right, we have time for one more if anybody has one.
All right, folks. That was a lot better. I guess the video worked better on that side today. So, yeah, but that's what he did. You get on Zoom and you have this little lady in the corner going, anybody else have a question? It's cute. It's cool.
Yep. It's a great opportunity for you, Chris. Congratulations.
Thanks, dude. Hey, you could have done the same thing, too. I was going to give you the password, too, but I was like, I was literally looking on the list to see if there's any Notre Dame guys for you. Because I was like, you yeah. But if I get a chance to talk, there is one guy. Huh? Go ahead. Talking over? Okay. Anyway, but I'm saying if we, if I see somebody on tonight, I think there's one coach on Kansas City who's from Notre Dame. If he's if they get him a chance to talk to him tonight, and maybe I'll grab him for you, and maybe you could write an article about him. Because I think that would be good. I know it's after the Super Bowl, but still, write an article about him. So that's a good idea.
No, that's actually a great situation.
Yeah, I think it's I saw his name today. I want to say Barry, but I could be wrong. But we'll figure it out. I'll send it to you tonight. I'll text you. Yeah, if they talk to him. But anyway, we talked about the keys to the game. We already did that earlier. What kind of food you're going to have? Tell the folks in the whole world that you're going to have French fries with your pastrami sandwich. And I'm going to sit back here with my whatever I'm going to make. I don't know what I'm making.
So as Chris knows, back in the fall, we were out there in Pittsburgh, and Permane Brothers is a place that I like to visit when I'm out there in Pittsburgh. We typically only stick to a Pittsburgh-themed Super Bowl meal when Pittsburgh's in the Super Bowl. But the wife made the decision this year. She goes, you know what? It's something very simple to make, and we're having the Permane Brothers pastrami sandwich. On that sandwich is the pastrami, provolone cheese, coleslaw, and a boatload of French fries. So no French fries on the side here, folks. French fries on the sandwich.
Wow, that sounds so. That's so yummy. I found the guy's name for you. Let me pull it up for you. Yeah, he's Kansas City offensive line. Kansas City's. All right. Yeah, here it is for you folks. Any Notre Dame guys out there? I'm going to say hopefully it says perfectly. But the internet doesn't. Oh, here we go. All right, so that's the guy's name. Anthony Heck. Yeah. He played on the 88 team that won the national championship. So that could be a good talk. Yeah, good. I'll ask him some questions, and maybe you could probably hook up something with the Kansas City Chief guy. I got the PR guy. I could probably email it to you.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Hey, I help out everybody. So, did you do your show yesterday, or?
I did not. It's been a little hectic here, Chris.
Okay.
Trying to get. I ended up with an afternoon hockey game to watch and cover versus going on and doing a show. So, that's where I was yesterday. It was a great weekend in that aspect. The fact that Notre Dame went into Ohio State and swept them over the weekend.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, did Notre Dame do the same thing to Penn State last weekend?
They split last weekend.
Okay.
They actually they lost the first game, but then they got back on the winning streak in the second game last weekend. So
that's cool. All right, well, folks, I'll let you
What
guys
are you doing?
go.
What are you doing? What are you doing for Super Bowl? What are you doing?
I'm just sitting here watching the game, wearing my Chief jersey I have. I know it's Matt Castle, but still, Matt Castle. Who cares? You know, and probably make some have some chips and pop some popcorn and maybe make a pizza. From DiGiorno Pizza downstairs. Probably bring that up maybe. Just have a nice peaceful evening because I'm not going to drive outside and go get anything. Maybe later, maybe tomorrow. So
you know what? I this is the one time I still wish that they would make the Super Bowl on Saturday. There's got to be a case made for making the Super Bowl a Saturday game because, well, no one goes into the. I mean, I haven't been in the office since March, but typically going into the office the day after the Super Bowl is kind of a brutal thing to do, and that's typically sometimes we have the highest absent rates as well. But let me tell you, putting that game on a Saturday, that would be money in the bank.
Right. Well, they used to do the games back in the first couple of years for the Super Bowl in the where the Jets and Colts played each other in the late '60s. They had them in the afternoon, like 1 o'clock. So you do a game at 1 o'clock, you're done by 5, and then you got the rest of the evening to sober up, and then you go to work the next day. Now it's like 6:30, 6 o'clock is the pregame. And my dad said to me last night, he goes, "When is it really going to kick off?" It's like 6:30. By the time you saw anthem, and they got to say thank you to this dude and thank you to that, and they got to call in the Buccaneers, and it's getting to the point. It's getting later and later. And I told my dad, like, press conferences, probably, the game's probably gonna be over by 11:30. There's no way it's gonna be over at 9 o'clock. I don't know where they get that idea from.
6:30 kick. It's a 6:30 quote unquote 6:30 is the coverage time. The game will probably start at 6:45.
Right.
You'll probably see that game end around 10:30.
Yeah, 10:30. And then you got the trophy presentation, and then during the media, I'm gonna wait for everybody. So please join us this coming Wednesday night. We'll be live at 7:30 here on StreamYard. We're gonna do our 2-hour thing. If George will stay around until 9:30, we'll if not, he could do it. He has special privileges. You're allowed to do whatever you need to do. But we'll be live at 7:30. You're welcome. Hey, Family Time is Family Time. Wednesday night at 7:30. We got some stuff. We got the Super Bowl. Plus, we'll get somebody from I'm trying to get somebody from the Professional Bowl store, because today, if you're watching bowling on TV on Fox Sports 1, they had the 30th perfect game on television. So maybe we'll get him on. The guy Chris Via, V-I-A, or our friend Kyle Troop might join us too. So we'll get him on. Then we'll talk with Cross, talk spring football, because Robert Morris is playing against JMU in the spring for football this year because of COVID-19, and anything else. So I hope you guys can join us Wednesday night at 7:30, and it'll be Yuski, myself, and George. If we don't know where viewing's at an Applebee's or somebody's couch or Home Depot.
You got to give us a score. We got to talk scores.
Oh yeah, score. That's right. I forgot.
Go ahead.
What do you think for the score for the night? Well, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be like 27-24 Kansas City. I think Kansas City's going to win on a field goal with the last minute. They'll drive. Holmes will drive them down to Butler's range, and he'll hit one from like 50 yards, and game over.
Well, I'm hoping
Sure.
it's not too much of a sleeper, but I think it's going to be 41-30, Kansas City. I
41-30.
think there's a big chance that you're going to see a changing of the guard here, as everyone's talking
Yeah.
about it. It's a changing of the guard. The Kansas City Chiefs could be the Patriots of old,
Well,
and I mean the old of the past 10 years.
yeah, well, I think the Chiefs are getting, now they're going to be that team that everybody wants to beat them because, I know here in Baltimore they want to beat them. They lost 3 straight years to Kansas City. Yeah. So, and I think Ewan's pick is I think Ewan said something by, I forgot what it was. I didn't really pay attention. Yeah. He said something weird about his. Yeah. I say 27-24 over
You got it.
the Bucks. So let's just bring that up for folks. If you have a Blackpool like my parents were doing with my brothers, do you do that a lot? Blackpool, put like $5 down and do you win the quarter. If you have
I played Screws once and I won a couple $100, but not anymore.
That's good. Well, I didn't this year, but years past I've been doing it, and I almost won last year, but I got screwed out at the last minute because somebody, I think some late field goal or something, or I can't remember, but it was like, I could have won like $250 or something like that. So
what ifs?
Yeah. Well, George, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Enjoy your dinner and enjoy the game, and we'll talk again Wednesday night at 7:30, and we'll have some fun.
Absolutely, Chris. Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Have a good night.
All right, folks. Have a great time. Enjoy the game. Go Chiefs.